Okay, so yes, it's another massive book haul. But again, it's a book haul that I've read a lot of books from. So I think I can be forgiven, right? Please? Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads. And today, guys, it is time for the November book haul. But before we get into this book haul, please do me a favor. Like this video and subscribe to the channel, as it does help the channel grow. You can check the description box down below for links to all of my social media, including my Patreon/book club, which you can join for as little as $1 a month, as well as the Wizards Enclave Discord if you want to join a great bookish community. Now, pertaining to the Patreon, for this book haul, I did get in this. It's a broken binding box. This is The Band, Book 1, Kings of the Wild. It's still in the box because this isn't for me. I've already read this book and I've removed them from my collection, but I am going to be doing a giveaway for both Bloody Rose and Kings of the Wild broken binding editions over on the Patreon. All you have to do, description box down below, click in there, subscribe to the Patreon on a paid tier, and DM me the words "The Band," and you are entered into that giveaway. With that out of the way, guys, yeah, I got a lot of books here. And if I have any indie books here, I'll link them in the description box down below because I love to promote indie. I think there might be a couple, maybe one or two. This is mainly a continuation of series or a return to authors that I've already read a lot of. A lot of the books I'm about to show you, I have already read. Now, it's been a long time since I've read them, but I have read them. And I guess we should just start with this stack here. This is a review copy that I received from the publisher, Tor. And this is The Nameless Lands by Kate Elliott. This is book 2 in the Witch Roads. And I believe this is now a completed duology. I have yet to read the first book, but I know my buddy Nikos has. And he's even interviewed the author twice. So I'll link those interviews in the description box down below so you can kind of learn a little bit more about these books. And I plan to read these here soon, hopefully, because they just sound fascinating. But yep, there's The Nameless Lands by Kate Elliott. Gorgeous, gorgeous book. And then I've just got a stack of Clive Cussler. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, let's just bring over all of the Clive Cussler that I have to show you. This entire stack, Clive Cussler. I am in for the ride. I got a lot of Isaac Bell adventure books. And the one book that lot was missing, because when you buy a lot online, it's basically like, hey, here's a bunch of books in this series. They're not necessarily all of them. And this one was missing The Titanic Secret. And I don't know which one this is. I think it's like book 9 or 10. And I decided to go ahead and pick that up on mass market paperback to match the lot that I got in. I have read The Chase, which is book 1 in this series, and I loved it. So I am looking forward to more of Isaac Bell. In fact, I've got book 2 slated for December, just to kind of give myself a little bit more. In fact, I think I'm going to be focusing a lot on both Isaac Bell and the Oregon Files, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But I got this in. And then, speaking of Oregon Files, I got this in. This is Skeleton Coast in trade paperback. Never before published! And I think this is the second or the third one. And I also got... yeah, I pretty much got in most of the Oregon File books. Here's The Jungle, which if you don't know what the Oregon is, essentially it's like this ship that's supposed to be like camouflaged to look derelict. And actually it's like a team that lives on this ship and it's actually state-of-the-art. It's really nice, like it's luxury. It's got like submersible stuff. It's really cool. I've read the first book and I really enjoyed it. We got Plague Ship right here. I don't know why the yellow to that like really calls me. For some reason, the color yellow has been calling to me lately. Like, I've heard that people who, like, drive yellow vehicles might actually be a little bit happier on average because the color yellow, it elicits a response of, like, happy, joyful feelings. There's a whole such a thing of, like, color theory. Anyway, for some reason, when I look at this yellow cover, it makes me happy. So, I also got Mirage, tangent aside. Mirage, this is another Oregon Files. Corsair. And I think I got all of these off of Pengo. The Silent Sea. And then we're going to set these to the side for a second. And I got in a couple that I've already read. In fact, I got in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I've already read. This is Treasure and Cyclops. These are the original hardcovers of the Dark Pit novels. And I do believe, yep, Cyclops is signed by the author. I read this probably in my early 20s, if not in high school. Treasure, I believe, is also signed. And I got these for an absolute steal. There were a couple eBay auctions for these two. And I was literally the only one who bid. So I got these both for like $25, which for signed original hardcovers in this good of condition was an absolute steal. Deep Six got away from me. I was bidding on Deep Six as well. Somebody was bidding on that, and it got to a point where I was like, I'm not really willing to pay the price that that's going for. So I stopped on that. But I got Flood Tide as well. I've read this one. Dragon, I know I've read that one. And then Shockwave, I know I have read that one as well. So I've read all of these Dirk Pitt books, but I didn't have them anymore. And I used to have them in like mass market paperback. And I decided to get them in on hardcover, because why not? More Oregon Files. We've got Dark Watch. And then I mentioned in last month's book haul when I did another huge Clive Cussler haul that I had gotten in a library copy of Blue Gold, and I didn't like that. So I was able to find this pretty much pristine copy, trade paperback edition of Blue Gold, and this is the Numa Files. So that is, I think, all of the Clive Cussler for this book haul. Then let's get the next big one out of the way, just so like I can get this done. I've mentioned the channel Carbon Bonded Books here on the channel lately, and she loves James Rollins, and I used to love James Rollins. And lately I've just been feeling the call to come back to James Rollins, and so I did. Now, these three books I haven't read. And this is him writing under another name. This is James Clemens, which is still James Rollins. But basically, he wrote this fantasy series, and it would help if I have it all in order, and I don't. Book one is Witchfire. I know nothing about these other than it's older Clemens or Rollins fantasy. This is book one of The Band and the Banished. Just really cool vintage cover art right there. Got these in mass market paperback. eBay lot, I think it was like $15. Book two is Witch Storm. Just these really cool vintage kind of covers. And then book three is Witch Fire. Just look at that. Just really, really, really pretty. So I got those in. Figured why not? I'd give them a try. But I think all the other Rollins, other than like past where I stopped in the series, I've read those. So these, I've all read. I've read Deep Fathom. I read this probably twice. Amazonia, I wanted to get this in hardcover, but this I found it at half price books, and I was like, for $2 versus 60, why not? So I decided to get the mass market paperback instead. Subterranean, I've read, and Excavation. This copy's in really rough shape, and I didn't realize it until I got home. It's got like stains on the front cover. The spine's really broken. The back is like destroyed. So if I can find another better condition edition of Excavation, I might replace that. But I've read this one as well. I read these all when I was a teenager, and I'm just back into adventure thrillers, and I figured why not? I'd like to go on those adventures again. So I got those back in the collection, all for I think like $10. Then more James Rollins. Let's just start with Ice Hunt. I've read Ice Hunt before. I think this all takes place in the same world, but I got this off of, I believe, Pango for like $3. This wasn't bad, although there is some like staining. I don't know if you can see it, kind of right here on the inside of the book, but other than that, it's in great shape, so I figured why not? I'd pick that up. And then we're going to start going through the Sigma Force, and I've read, I think, the first 9 of the Sigma Force books. This is Sandstorm. I read this 3 times. I love this book. This book is fantastic. Sigma Force follows like DARPA, and this one starts with Painter as the main character. Painter is this, he's either half Native American or full Native American. I can't recall. It's been a few years since I last read this, but fantastic book. I love this one. It's action adventure with like archaeology and like hidden lost cities, really cool stuff, and like ancient technology. Just awesome concepts. The whole series is like this. Then Map of Bones, we switch to, I believe, Gray Pierce as being Grayson Pierce as being the main character. This is Map of Bones. I got this off of eBay because I bought most of these in a lot of 14 books. 2 of them were trashed, and one or two of them were missing, so I filled in the holes. But I got, I think, 14 of the books for $40, so I wasn't going to complain. But this is somebody's happy 31st anniversary edition, and it's with me now. So yay. We've got Black Order right here. Very cool. I've read that one. The Judas Strain. There is some damage kind of right here at the bottom, maybe some moisture damage. Other than that, though, it's in really good shape, so I'm not too worried about that. The Last Oracle. Again, I've read this one. Doomsday Key. I've read that one. The Devil Colony. Bloodline. The Eye of God. And this is just... I'm not even close to being done. The Sixth Extinction. I've read all of these books so far. So maybe I've read more than 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I guess I've read the first 10. Bone Labyrinth. And I think this is the last one that I've read. So I've read the first 11 of the Sigma Force books. And from there, we go to Seventh Plague. This is book 12. I think I've read this, and I just don't have it marked on Goodreads. It's entirely possible I've actually read this one, and I just didn't mark it. I know I haven't read Crucible. I haven't read this one, so that's new to me. The Demon Crown. The Last Odyssey. This is all the same series. And then Kingdom of Bones. And from here on, the book haul should get a little bit more interesting for you guys. Some pretty books to talk about and whatnot. So let's get all this out of the way. Make some space. Make way. Make room. Make room. Okay. Okay, so I've got more books. I picked this up because I've been wanting to check out this author, and I found a really good deal on this. This is basically an ex-library copy that's never really been read. You can see that it's kind of stamped right here with... What library did you come from? East Brunswick Public Library. But the pages are really clean. It's still stamped like with discard and stuff like that. It is signed, and it's not numbered, but it's limited to 1,000 copies. But this is The Traveling Vampire Show by Richard Lehman. And yeah, it just sounded really cool. It sounded right up my alley. It says, though gloomy with clouds, it is a hot August morning in summer of '63. All over the rural town of Granville, tacked to power poles and trees taped to store windows, blowing along the sidewalks, flyers have appeared announcing the one-night performance only of the Traveling Vampire Show. And I was just like, yep, no, I'm in. That sounds really appealing to me. I just wanted to give it a shot. And I got this for super cheap. I think I got it for under cover price because it's an ex-library book. And it doesn't look like anybody's ever even touched this book. So whatever library had this, nobody checked it out. So I guess that's my win, my gain. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's go with that. And then I decided to get this in. I'm kind of not sure how I'm going to feel on Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King and Owen King. I've heard mixed things about it. You either love this one or you hate it. And so I just don't know, but I got a really good deal on this through Pengo, where basically I was getting in another series, and then I was like, hey, if you spend this much, you get free shipping. And I was like, so it's the same cost if I just get that book in. So I got this book to fulfill a free shipping. So I have this in my collection now, and I really do love the cover of it, but I'm kind of dubious on the premise of the book, so I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it. But we shall see. So we got that in. And then I got in this series. This is, I believe, the Jeremy Logan. Is that what it's called? The Jeremy Logan series. And I got in book 1 as well, but book 1 was incredibly damaged, so I have a replacement. Yeah, it's Jeremy Logan. I have a replacement copy of that coming in. I have read book 1, but this is by Lincoln Child. This is The Third Gate. This is kind of like archaeological, like alien thrillers. The Forgotten Room. Or at least I'm basing that completely off of book 1, so it may not have anything to do with aliens at all. But yeah, Terminal Freeze and Full Wolf Moon. So I got those in. It just sounded really appealing after I read the first book, and I was like, you know what? Why not? I'm going to give it a shot. So I got those in. Of course, got in from Quail Ridge Books, Shadows Upon Time by Christopher Rocchio. And this one is a signed edition, and it says to Andrew. So I'm very happy to have this in my collection now to round out my Sun Eater set. I've got all the books. I am a little bit sad because you can see all of this overglue here on the spine. Maybe if I just... Can I just like remove some of that glue? But yeah, there's just a bunch of glue that has squished out onto the pages that I'm not super happy about. But other than that, it's in gorgeous condition. Really, really nice condition. And then I've got just a few more books to talk about. We've got, of course, here an indie book. So this will be linked in the description box down below. Secrets of the Ombax by Dennis M. Myers. In the shadow of a dead civilization, two brothers, young hunters on a world far from Earth. Both are dissatisfied with what the tribe has planned for their lives. Both long for adventure. Duty drives them to stay close to home, accede to their tribe's expectations until the humans arrive. So this is a sci-fi book, and this is set in the same world as his other series, which I'm still currently reading, and that's Rise of the Automated Empire. This is, I believe, Flagship of the Automated Empire, Book 1. So this is the start of a new series in that universe. So very excited to have this in my collection now as I'm getting ready to start reading Book 2. While I was reading Ararat, I was like, man, I really want something signed by Christopher Golden. And so I went out and I found this. This is The Ferryman. This is a Cemetery Dance edition, which means it is a premium edition, and it should be, I believe it's signed. Let's see, am I a silly Billy, or am I just completely unable to find where this was signed? Some of the special edition books sign them in the back, which drives me nuts. And is this one of them? Anyway, I know this is a signed edition. I just don't know exactly where. Ah, here we go. Right up front. It would help if I knew what I was doing. So right there, signed. I don't know a whole lot about this because I can't read the dust jacket. Whoever was doing the typography for this at Cemetery Dance should 100% be fired. Because it's not readable at all. That's completely illegible and very frustrating. So, yes. Here we go. If I open up the cover, I can then read it in plain text. When Janie Harkenshorn lost her lover, David Barstow, for an old... when Janie left her lover, David, for an old flame... There we go. We'll rephrase it like that. It was the mistake of her life. A mistake that begun with a surprise pregnancy and heartbreak, and ended with the loss of her unborn child and a horrible medical ordeal that nearly cost her her own life. Janie nearly died. So right off the bat, I know this is going to be a heavy, heavy horror book. So I'm here for it. I then got in Coffin Moon from Black Crow Books. This is just gorgeous, gilded. I saw this book making the rounds and was just like, yeah, this horror book is going to be where it's at. And I was like, all right, sign me up. How is it you'll kill what's already dead, little one? From the author of the exciting, suspenseful, horrifying Fever House. Ah, okay, that makes more sense. I need to try Fever House. I want to check Fever House out. I know they were doing a set of Fever House as well, but I've just, A, I had to wait for this one, and B, like, shipping from the UK is a bit much. But, hey, look at that. Cloth-bound. Gorgeous. Gorgeous book. I was going to read this. It's the winter of 1975, and Portland, Oregon is all sleet and neon. Daphne Miner is back home after a tour in Vietnam, a bartender just trying to stay sober, save his marriage with his wife Heidi, and connect with his 13-year-old niece Julia. Now that he's responsible for raising her, things aren't easy, but Miner is scraping by. Then a vampire walks into his bar and ruins his life. Okay, all right. Very good. Although when I was showing you guys the dust jacket, I did mar it and accidentally kept my thumb in place, and I have now creased the back of that, so that makes me upset. Anyway, we've got King Sorrow also from Black Crow Books and The Broken Binding. This one is signed. I am less inclined to take off the dust jacket right now because of the damage I just did to my other special edition. That did not make me happy. So we're going to be a little bit more careful. And there we go. Beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic. I've got the audiobook for this one as well. I'm very excited. It's narrated by, partially at least, by Kate Mulgrew, and I love Kate Mulgrew. I got this in. I've been hearing about Justin Cronin for a while, so this is the second book in this book haul called The Ferryman. This is a signed copy. I don't really know a whole lot about it other than the fact that I wanted to try this author out. He's also known for The Passage, which is also on my radar, but I figured I found this for like $9 on Pengo Books, and I was like, okay, why not? Founded by a mysterious genius, the archipelago of Prospera lies hidden from the horrors of a deteriorating outside world. In this island paradise, Prospera's lucky citizens enjoy long, fulfilling lives until the monitors embedded in their forearms meant to measure their physical health, psychological well-being, fall below 10%. Then they retire themselves, embarking on a ferry ride to the island known as the Nursery, where their failing bodies are renewed, their memories are wiped clean, and they are ready to restart life afresh. Already, I know that's going to be wild, so why not? And then I got these two. mainly because I joined Brian from Belltube's 2-year anniversary live stream, and Josh from Red Furry Books was talking about these books, and I was just like, you know what? Like, that sounds like something I want to check out. And I got in these 2 omnibuses. I was basically at my half-price books. I'd gotten in a copy of just the book that was suggested, and it was moldy, and so I ended up donating that one. And then I was at Half Price Books and just stumbled across one of the omnibuses, and then found the other omnibus on eBay for a very reasonable price. I think it was like $30. And so that's The Last Coyote, Trunk Music, and Angel's Flight, the Harry Bosch novels. That's 4 through 6. And then 1 through 3 is The Black Echo, The Black Ice, and The Concrete Blonde, 1 through 3. These are gorgeous omnibus editions. And I believe, I don't know if this is like signed by the author or who signed it. It was only $9 at the Half Price Books, but there you go. There is a signature there. I don't know if that's Conley's signature, but that's still really cool. And I might have gotten a signed edition that Half Price Books was completely unaware of. But that is the book haul. Those are all the books that I brought in on November. Please let me know how your book buying is going, because mine is going absolutely nuts. A little piece of news, I am planning a library tour here soon. I just got a new shelf over here, so I have a ton of empty space on these shelves behind me. Basically, I got a cube storage over there, and I found a way to double stack to equal one of these full shelves, and so I've been able to move a bunch of the overstuffing on my shelves over there, so I've got a lot of room. So I may be reorganizing my library here soon, but I am planning to do a library tour. So I know a few of you have been asking for that. Don't worry, it is coming. That's all I've really got for you today, guys. I hope you are doing well. Till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons. Thank you for supporting my passion and my hobby. It means the world to me.